Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Conover.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today we're going from the Asia Vet scene to the Euro Vet scene. It's more league play on the Odon River. Rang, who and with what are we fighting?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Oneill as the 3rd Armoured Division. And on the right-hand side, we have ourselves Yuejin as the 1st SS Panzer Division.
You know, you and I were talking a little bit off, pre-casting here, but the 3rd Armored is kind of a little bit outmatched by the 1st SS. Why is that?
Third Armoured's a tougher tank division to play. It's the Panzer layer of allies. It's very slow to build up, and in 1v1 you kind of need to have points and stuff early on, at least in B phase, to be able to, you know, push and take ground, etc. And for the allies, you got like Guards Armored Division or Desert Rats or Pose, which are all much more, you know, better aggressiveness earlier on, while still holding that later C phase capability. Are usually better in that regard, but you can still do pretty well with 3rd Armoured. He has, of course, a lot of nice units, such as Calliope and Jumbo, but I think a whole division matchup really makes them more ideal in team games compared to a 1v1.
How would it fare against a more infantry-based deck? I mean, the 1st SS, of course, is a powerhouse when it comes to tanks a lot later, right? With tough ones and with a lot of them. Against a 91st Luftland, a 3rd Fallschirmjäger, how would the 3rd Armored do? Would that be? Is it just a mismatch because it's armor v armor?
I think against more infantry-focused deck, you could do a bit decent if you know how to push well with your light tanks and use your half tracks. But it all comes down to the infantry plane, and 3rd Armored infantry isn't the best.
It's
I mean, they have bazookas, which is great, but it's a bit, you know, armored rifles are just to be shot at.
Well, a lot of these guys are made to be shot at, but thankfully they're not friend groups, at least. Now, the one thing we don't often talk about, at least with a lot of the American stuff, is that we do have a high number of half tracks, which, remember when this first came out, saw it get a ton of play with the 3rd Armored.
Yeah, because they're only armored division to play for like a good few weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly right. The normal breakup, by the way, is we are getting started off here. It does look like the Germans are taking a bit of a very wide range approach. You'll see the Allies actually control the center part, at least for right now. And yikes, wow. M4A1 getting in and firing already, taking down, what, oh my gosh, it's a 222, is it not? 232.
232, yeah. Now, we do have the Stunk being brought in from Yuejin, so it's going to be a pretty even matchup between both tanks. And you gotta realize, Yuejin can get like 3 V-Stooks, while Oneill can potentially get 2 M4A1s. So he probably only has 1 M4A1 in his deck in A phase. So it's going to be important to keep that M4 alive, because that's such a powerhouse unit for the Americans early on.
Well, what's more as well, I mean, if you think about it, ooh, wow, okay, so driver been wounded, please, Stug, do your thing. This is of course the pure tank hunter variant, getting up a little bit of its HE ammo to trade off for some more AP.
Yeah.
And frankly, probably a good idea. Internal fragments, okay.
Oh, that's a good hit from the Stug. And then the Panzer Stug, or the 1st SS, such a powerhouse unit. As at only 110 points, which is, you know, incredibly cheap for what essentially is a fully functional tank still. Gets a kill on the Sherman. That's a big kill, yeah.
But did he end up firing a second time?
Was that? Yeah.
No, he just said internal fragments. He just blew up because he was out of range, wasn't he? Good lord, let me check that for a second.
No, I think
he's only 1,000 meters. Yeah. Oh, no, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Down to the south, I was going to make a note. These Volksdeutscher, we talked about these guys when they first came out. Yes, they do have the disheartened, but I would love to see him take out that Stuart. And that's a huge, huge thing in the south. I feel like if they lose that Stuart, the Germans have a massive, massive power disparity there.
Yeah, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. You got the armored rifle screen in the front. The Stuart's behind the building, which is very good. And in CQC, the armored rifles beat the Volksdeutscher.
That's true. That's very true.
But it's good defensive position though from the Americans down south. If you hold at like U-point choke points, it's usually pretty easy.
Volksdeutscher in the meantime, they're coming up, and I think that they're going to see some of these armored rifles out in the open. And wow, the Faust missed. My, little German friends there, come on, that thing is the size of a tank. And it's not even armored like one. Come on. Ugh.
Yeah.
And to the north, the surviving 232 starts shifting on forwards. Keep in mind, those armored rifles, we are deriding them a little bit, but they still do have that Zook and then some.
Yeah, I mean, what makes the armored rifles lovely is the bazooka. Because it's not a PI, it's a bazooka. It will actually hit stuff. when you want it dead. So you can sprinkle these guys in towns and whatnot, and you have a lot of, you know, good anti-tank capability. You just have to make sure to keep your half-tracks alive to give fire support, as your half-tracks are really your main infantry suppression and killing weapon for 3rd Armoured.
Very true. Now, we are going to see the Americans are going to cross the river. Not taking any amphibious material to do it, unfortunately. But scouts and armored rifles are across, and the German infantry is getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yes, the Stug is all the way back here. It can't really give any fire support. But now it's giving some fire support from its position. It's a rather tight angle, as you can see from the Stug, as it's just at one small choke point between the bridge. But I think it's going to be hard for Yuejin to really make any progress up north, as well. This is Odon River. This is a choke pointy as hell map, so it can be very hard to push from both sides. And still, we're pretty, you know, almost 5 minutes into the game, and there's only been 11 points on the scoreboard.
I would more or less agree with you, but at the same time, that mortar half-track coming on in, as well as the fire support from at least that anti-air platform, he can definitely at least push back this 57 mil, and he has seen it. You can see that flare that's gone down. He is calling his shot.
Yeah, our mortar, if he can, you know, get the kills of the mortar, it's definitely going to help out a lot in doing an actual attack. We are seeing a second infrared run from Gallinil, so taking both an A phase, which is pretty useful for him, as he kind of lost his other run previously. But it seems like, is Gal just going in for the attack, or is he just setting up defensive? Oh yeah, he's going for the attack.
Oh, wow. 2 pinned. Oh my gosh, that AT gun could go out in a second. That is so heavily packed there.
Yep.
Sherman will get first shot off against that Stug, but the Stug is not to be dismissed lightly.
Yep.
It's always so tense for me to sit here watching one of these engagements go off.
Oh,
that's why.
That's lucky.
That's why.
I was not expecting that. I mean, he bounced the first shot, so the second one had to go through, I guess.
But there might be revenge happening here. There is a Junker on the field. He's going to make a gun run at that M4A1 very quickly. It's going to get stunned up, and here comes the gun run.
Yep, there's no AA.
And the infantry, oh my gosh, the infantry screening for the tank is also dead. Oh, but he pulls it off just in time. Okay.
Yeah. I think he lost line of sight. No.
Yes, I believe he did.
No.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, wow.
There we go. And really
good... so we have 2 dead Shermans. I'm sorry to cut you off. So we have 2 dead Shermans, by the way. So the bulk of the 3rd Armored kind of real fighting forces is kind of dead. What happens now? What can they fall back on?
They can get some Stuarts, which would help out a bit. I think for Gallinil, a mortar half-track in his end would be a pretty useful unit to have, as you really kind of need it to, like, damn it, that bloody Junker's just getting kill after kill. You don't mess with that Junker, but it's really helping trying to stop the infantry up north. It's down. Gallinil's just kind of lost all this stuff. He is getting a Bofors anti-aircraft gun, which actually be a pretty good choice. That's going to keep the infantry and airplanes at bay. But it's going to be a tough 3 minutes till B phase for 3rd Armoured.
Well, look at the positioning for it, though, too.
The mortar half-track went down to the 6-pounder.
That was a beautiful placement.
That shouldn't have happened, but it did.
Because I was about to say that Bofors, I don't care if it's up, that thing is going to die in 3 seconds. And it still might... Oh, never mind, okay.
Nope.
Thought the anti-air platform might have stayed up there to engage from a distance.
Yeah, now he's got the half-track coming in, so I don't think as Volksdeutsche are going to be able to really make too much progress.
Part of me wants to see that, again, that, oh my gosh, 20 mil, 30 mil?
40?
36. It's a 37 mil, excuse me, on the back of that half-track to shift forward. That would be more than enough to take out that half-track. If nothing else, at least suppress it. Yeah. Because his infantry was controlling good distance, and it's not doing that any longer.
Yeah, he definitely needs that, or at least a 2-3-2 up north or some fire supporters. Yeah, his Volksdeutsche are getting completely slammed on. But at the same time, their Volksdeutsche, they're 25 points, extremely replaceable.
At this point in the war, I'm not sure any German body is replaceable, but if you say so. We're having another Stug coming on in, and with no more 57 mil, that actually is a very, very dangerous thing for the Americans.
I mean, this is really good Stug territory, as this is one choke point. So you need a turret when you're just shooting things in front of you. So it's really good Stug territory. But it seems like Gallinil's going to be able to make it across the bridge of his half track. his infantry is going to be a little bit slow to the punch.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, his infantry is going to be slow to the punch here, so I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to the town.
Well, the half-track by itself might just get blown apart.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for that to happen, but I keep getting... The lie keeps getting put to my words. But the Volksdeutsche will come on in and we'll pick up that half-track pretty quickly. That half-track is nowhere to go. Ladies and gentlemen, he is going to be cooked. There we go.
Dead on the riverside.
Oh, yeah. 60 seconds away, and we still only have 24 tickets total.
It's been a pretty... I mean, it's really just this northern side that's been back and forth. But even then, it's been pretty minor back and forth over this one choke point. I mean, looking middle and down south, it's pretty quiet. Main thing is Oneill managed to get a little bit across the river, some infantry in the middle, but that's about it.
Actually, you know what I love? I love seeing this extreme kind of distance play against these anti-aircraft pieces between the anti-aircraft duel. Wow, Bofors goes down super quick.
Yeah. And now the Stuken 232 moving up. Really good use of redeploying the 232. I think Yuejin may have enough to be able to penetrate through the choke point. You've got Stuart being brought in, but that's not exactly going to be enough firepower in this situation.
Well, not against that Stug anyway. The Stug doesn't have range advantage, but he certainly has the penetration advantage.
Yep, and it's a really good positioning for the Stug, as it's just he has a clear shot down the road, which is the main American supply line.
Some more Volksdeutsche are being brought on to the south. The first actual combat goes on. A little bit of fire is exchanged, but the Americans are playing very tight into that town, and I think you're absolutely right to say before. You just want to keep it that way. P4 coming on in early in Phase B. Storage hit on the half-track. What's going to come through for the Americans?
Probably more Shermans, hopefully. Any type of Sherman. Calliopes, 75 mils, maybe an upgun run, maybe a jumbo. I'd love to see a jumbo, personally. But he really just needs some sort of tank to help deal with this Panzerjäger Stug and also his upcoming Panzer IV.
Well, and here comes the Junker, actually, too. So the Junker is going to make a run at that half-track. There is one Bofors left, but it's just a really, really long time for that Bofors to put enough pressure on to force that fallback.
Yeah. And it doesn't have line of sight because he's behind the tree line.
This guy's got 4 kills already. Yeah, that Junker's paid for himself pretty quickly.
Yep, that's a really good use
I thought I saw the Stuart in the south. No, he's going to have to... Oh, never mind. He's got 5 now. Jeez.
Damn. Oh, here comes a Mustang, yo. I don't think he's gonna get the kill. Yeah,
no, I don't think so either.
Oh, yeah, the fucker.
And the fucker was connected to the Mustang, and the Mustang's connected to the Junker. But no, so Bofors forcing back the Focke-Wulf in the meantime too.
Yep.
And it's a lot of that game of do you know that I know that they know.
Exactly. That's how it feels like when you ever play with airplanes in this game. Because it's always a risk sending it out to the enemy, because, do they have, 5 fighters on standby ready to shoot down my run bomber? Let's test it out.
But the thing is, it's such an expensive experiment, you know?
What I find is a good tip when using aeroplanes is try to time it so it comes out when the redeployment money, or, you get, you get your income every minute. You bring out the airplane so it comes out when it's on the enemy side, when it's not the redeployment tick. I'm saying this in many more words than it really need to be said, but just bring it out in between the load, because what usually happens is airplane comes out, you get your income boost, and then it's like, okay, I'm being bombed, I'm gonna buy a fighter immediately and just chase you down.
Okay.
Did you get that, Khan?
I'm sure somebody out there did, and that's what I'm holding on to.
Yeah, just time your airplane strikes right.
There we go. Yeah. So much simpler.
Yeah.
Cheeky positioning from this Stuart. I'm not sure I'd be that brave.
Yeah, that was a bit ballsy, and even ballsier keeping him. Yeah, he's a dead Stuart.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, from one perspective, had he gotten that first shot off, he might have been able to take both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, that's a very low percentage chance. Gutsy though. I mean, to break the deadlock at the same time, Yuejin is now getting that +1. He controls that entire estate in the center part of the map too, and that's a very hard position to shift people from.
Yep, and I mean this is the run for Itochi, but I don't think Galilneo's going to be sending anything. Okay, sending one armored rifle squad to try and keep out for Itochi array.
One more Junkers run coming on in. Going to be engaged by the CGMC.
Yeah,
and won't even get a kill this time. That is surprising.
Yeah, that M15 is. It's just, I'd say it's like one of the deadliest anti-aircraft units in game. I mean,
Heck,
it's not
one of the deadliest anti-infantry units in the game.
exactly. I mean, it's not the the big 16 Luftwaffe double-barreled 37mm by any stretch, but 250 cows and a 37mm AA gun on a mobile platform. That's I wouldn't want to be shot by that.
Now, one thing we did see, Oneill making an uncharacteristic mistake, charging that half-track in. It took 2 Fausts, so that's probably the best thing he can do to kind of salve his ego. But that's a loss that he did not need to take.
Yeah, he definitely sort of let the infantry go first instead of just rushing a half-track. Especially when you're playing against first assassins. They're gonna have Panzer Grenadiers and Voigtdeutscher, have Panzerfaust. It's not the best idea to be running into.
Whoa! What happened in the south?
Whoa!
Okay, so the Stuart went down. Let's see from the German side. Oh no, the half-track went down too, so I could not tell you for the life of me. I guess the Panzerjäger did it. Yeah.
I think the Stuart came around, the Panzerjäger blew him to bits, and now the Voigtdeutscher.
Oh no, okay, for some reason you say Panzerjäger, my first thought was Volksdeutscher. Never mind, I'm so sorry about that.
No, that's fine. But damn, that's a pretty big turn of events in the south. Yeah, Yuejin getting a lot of territory. And all this is what Galilneo's been doing. He saved up for the Jumbo. And it's a good idea because it's a choke point fight up north. And Jumbo loves choke points, especially when it's only fighting against Panzer IVs. Not great, yo, because he's been waiting like 2 or 3 minutes to save up for his bloody thing. And he has no infantry support to support the Jumbo. So, yeah, it's kind of like the King Tiger play essentially, not as ballsy as a King Tiger play, but it's definitely hurt Galilneo a bit by not getting any frontline units for
economically speaking. Yeah.
At the same time, he's playing like third armor. Eco and B phase is pretty terrible compared to first SS.
P4 is going to have the Stuart dead to rights when it comes around, and the thing's got tracks and wheels damaged. So first shot will go to the Stuart, but is he going for the half track? Yes, he is. Giving away his position. You know what? If you shoot the half-track, it's not a big deal.
Exactly. A half-tracks are meant to be shot at.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like it's like when you play like a spaceship flying game and you send out drones that like run into missiles. It's the same thing.
One thing I'm not going to enjoy here from the German perspective is now that this Jumbo has moved into true range.
Yeah.
I would laugh hysterically. This Volksdeutsche is able to just Faust as it runs by.
Yeah.
Which is entirely a possibility. He's actually super lucky these are spot troops and not Fusiliers or something like that.
I know, if that was just anything else. Can he even see the spar troops?
No, he can't.
The spar troops like, don't breathe. Hold your breath, Hans. It's like thump, thump, thump. Jumbo comes round the corner. Sighs.
But that whole it's like the Godzilla moment, right?
Yeah, they're looking at like a glass of water and it's like vibrating.
Ooh, I like this. Nebelwerfers.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, one of them's in a bad position. The other one's totally able to start shelling this approach, and I think that'd be a great thing too. What's that range? Oh yeah, he's got that.
Yeah.
Shell the center of the town right now.
Yeah, Nebelwerfer solve every problem. But like,
yes,
unless it's an airplane, but apart from that, they solve every problem.
Oh, Stug and the Stuart are getting super tight.
Oh, the spar troops try to get the scouts, but the scouts are going to unload and they're going to win that fight.
No, actually, I love this. Okay, look at this. Nebelwerfer is going to shell the Rhino.
Yeah.
He's moving this into position right this second.
Oh, Jumbo's going to get first shot, but it misses completely.
The shooter knocked out. Friendly fire. There goes the spot troops. But, oh my god, there's so much firepower there. 2 Junkers, and there goes the Jumbo.
What the hell just happened? That was
a beautiful play, actually. Wow.
That was timing. Absolute perfect timing. Like, he used artillery, he used tanks, he used airplanes in one combined strike. Yeah, that's how you play Steel Division, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say, the Germans had a concept back then called Schwerpunkt, and that was like the focus of every single position and just blowing a hole in your enemy's lines. He's done that. That was a massive concentration of Allied units, And yes, there still are Zooks in the area. However, there's also now two naval buffers that can just constantly shell. Given we have an Opal Bliss, and there it comes now.
Yeah.
And the biggest piece there is completely dead.
Yeah, too bad he doesn't have any infantry to follow up with that push, because he could have got some surrenders, yeah. But still, that was knocking out the jumbo was definitely a big blow to Oneill.
Now we are going to see some armored rifles behind enemy lines here, engaging these Volksdeutsche. And the funny thing for me is that the Volksdeutsche should be taking more morale penalties, but since the third armor is technically surrounded, they get pwned in like half a second.
Good point, yeah.
And here comes a surrender, and that's bad news bears.
And all paratroopers, they weren't supposed to be surrounded.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're just seeing an absolute huge concentration on tanks now from Yuejin. Just Dukes and Panzer IVs galore here, and everywhere.
Well, we are going to see some very nice, let's say, plucky scout play. You guys moving super deep into that behind enemy lines there. Not that they can do anything with it. And a third naval buffer is going to be brought on in as the Americans say, quick, Tommy, we need more tanks. There's an M5A1. There's an upgun 75 mil. I mean, that's...
Yeah. It's going to be tough because, I mean, even if it was 2 tanks, he's outnumbered 3-2, where it's going to be 4-2 in a bit when that Panjägerstug gets brought out. So, I mean, that's going to be a tough uphill battle for him. I mean, he probably could do some good flanking maneuvers with the Stuart, maybe get around into a northern area to try to kill the Panzer IV, but even then it's going to be a bit tough.
Well, here comes the CGMC, and it's just barely stopping shy of P4. That's a very lucky position.
Yeah, but he needs to keep that M15 alive, or I mean that's his only real anti-aircraft unit, and he needs to stop those Junkers.
And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. P4 is going to get both of these tanks on the flank, and then there's still another P4 there. And like you said, every single approach is being covered here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the P4 up north may just get outgunned here, 2-1.
Then again.
Yeah. But at the same time, like the Stuart and Sherman are way too close, so they're sharing morale damage when the Panzer IV shoots, which isn't the best. You kind of want to keep your tanks a bit spread out. I find that's such a cool feature.
Yes.
You know, like, if you have 2 units really close together and one gets shot at, the guy next to him, like, oh shit. You get morale damage too. Makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yeah. It definitely does. Ooh, this Stuart's being plucky, and he's going to find that out to his dismay in just a second here. Oh my god, I feel bad for that little guy.
Oh.
The only thing that I can tell you that might be his final resting place is that at least he was taken by a vehicle and not some, infantry on the side of the road with a Faust.
Yeah.
It is very lucky right now this Pioneers aren't pressuring a little bit further west. It is a +3 though, so why would Yuejin have to even move?
Exactly. I mean, down south, he's managed to get across. He's managed to capture the town downtown, which is pretty important to get a little bit across the river. Us finally seeing Poole being brought in the southern side. And we're on sea phase, so Oneill gets all the points. But he just does not have any momentum. And this is the problem with Third Armoured, is that it's very slow early on, and if you end up losing that momentum, and it's so hard to get that momentum back, especially against like such a powerhouse of a Division First SS, which now has so many tanks and just units on the field. It's going to be hard coming back from that, even with good eco and a Sherman every minute.
It's darkly humorous to me. Ooh, we have a Panther D coming in. It's darkly humorous to me though that the naval buffers have shelled their guys more often than the enemy, and yet it's still brilliantly timed. Yeah. They didn't have to take out the Sherman; they got it to surrender. Crew wounded. I think that upgun might take out. I know the command Sherman might take out the P4.
Yeah. If it can hit.
Yeah. DGMC goes down.
I got the Scot coming in on the flank. I don't know, he's not going to be able to really do too much, but we'll see if Scotty can play.
Oh, the Junkers. Oh my gosh. Okay, was it Abrams on the south? Abrams went down.
It's Poole.
Poole, thank you. I'm sorry. Abrams is 4th Armored, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Focke-Wulf. Okay, that's actually also great play, too. I mean, the Junkers came in. You're not going to be able to intercept both. So what do we have instead? Go down to the south, the Focke-Wulf on masks, and yep, that's a dead, right? That's a dead.
That's a dead plane.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And,
The Junker's still up, too. On
yeah.
one of the north, that is. I mean, he can still make another gun run. And yep, there's a surrender.
There's a surrender from Oneill, and that would be a good game. Damn, that was
A slaughter.
pretty slaughterous. Yuejin taking the victory there, and yeah, the JR87G. I mean, okay, like most of it is half tracks, but he killed a jumbo and an M4A1, which is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and Panjäger Stug 3F did pretty well. And the Focke-Wulf getting like some kills. But yeah,
pretty open and shut case, actually.
yeah, really good play from Yuejin. I mean, that combined arms push and the jumbo was just beautiful. That was just lovely, absolutely lovely. And yeah, he just, I mean, playing third armored is definitely shooting yourself in the foot a bit in a 1v1, as there's so many better divisions, tank divisions, that you can play 1v1 as allies, guard armored. But I still like seeing them. I really like third armored personally as a division.
Well, it's a bit of loyalty, right? It's, you know, again, like you said, it dropped in release. It was the first guy to really kind of pave the way.
I like playing third armored more during the beta compared to 15 Scots personally. I just like the half tracks and the jumbo, mainly the jumbo.
Although the Death Star was always nice.
Oh God, the Avra, the bloody. Yeah.
But all right, I think are we doing another? I think we have one more replay this week, don't we?
Yeah, I think we got one more just regular match this week. So we'll see you guys for that, I guess.
All right, folks. I am Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.